There is a lot of power of saying no to yourself. Now, I'm not talking about saying no about that piece of chocolate cake or no, I'm not going to scroll on my phone for hours. No, not going to go. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about saying no to that inner critic, that voice that keeps you stuck, that sabotages your life. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So, your inner critic is that voice, that dialogue with yourself. This goes on all the time. Thinking, thinking, thinking. It's like this dialogue. And if you have an inner critic that's negative, it will defeat you. So I'm going to talk about that. Name calling. Do you call yourself names? Stupid. I just really don't like that. Ugly. Broken. Or how about castigate? That means to reprimand severely. Man, I can't believe you said that. You messed up again. And on and on. Or sarcasm. Maybe you're a little sarcastic toward yourself. Sarcasm comes from the Greek verb sarkazio. It means to tear flesh. It is driven by scorn. Scorn. How damaging. How about gaslighting? Now, we think of gaslighting, other people, you hear a lot about gaslighting and other people that will gaslight you. But what about gaslighting yourself? No, they really didn't mean that. Oh, yeah, they hurt my feelings, but it's okay. You deny reality. You will talk yourself out of it. You make excuses for your behavior and theirs. The gaslighting. And all of this inner critic, yickety yick, leads to self-sabotage. You will sabotage your life because of the negative talk in your head. Or how about that, making excuses? Oh, man. Justifying and rationalizing and making excuses. And you know, I just think all of this is, it's a reason stuffed with a lie. Avoidance. Your inner critic will drive you to avoid. And what does that look like? Well, not doing what you need to do or not doing what you need to do. And it turns into procrastination, fear of the unknown. So I just won't do it. All or nothing. If I can't get it done, I won't do it. If I can't do it perfect. And then disassociation. And that is when you just check out. Just check out. Binge that Netflix. Scroll on that phone. Play that game on that phone. I relate to that one. You know, I can disassociate by playing those games on my phone. Hours. Just so I don't have to think about what's going on. So, that inner critic is driven by your beliefs, what you believe about yourself. You're not enough. You're unlovable, fat, ugly, broken, a failure. So just say no. Nancy Reagan did this campaign, I think it's back in the, 80s or something, whenever she was first lady, and it was just say no to drugs. And if just say no works, we wouldn't have any drug addicts today. Just say no to yourself is not the key to this. Now you can use that as a thought interrupter. No. When those thoughts start coming at you. So, I'm going to tell a story when I realized that I was the person that treated me the worst because of my inner critic. I went to counseling. This was 30 years ago. And we had worked together. And in this session, he felt real led to do an empty chair exercise with me. And so what this is you put the client in the one chair and then who they're going to talk to in the other chair. In this instance, it was myself at that time at 41 and myself as the little girl, 11 years old, my inner child. And so he wanted me to talk to this inner child, and he put a pillow in that chair, and I was to talk to myself. I don't really remember what I said to start this out. He prompted me and all of that. But there's a certain point in that exercise that I do remember. And I remember sitting he made me switch to the chair and be the little girl. And he put the pillow in the other chair. And it was me as a 41-year-old woman. And he said, "What would you say to her?" And I said, "I don't want you to hurt me anymore. And I don't want you to allow other people to hurt me anymore." And then he made me switch again. And I can remember. And I told that wounded inner child, "I will do my best to not allow other people to abuse you. And I will do my best to stop abusing you." And I kind of started crying. And he got real excited. My counselor did. And he jumped up and he grabbed that pillow and he put it on my chest. And he said, "Now, hug her and tell her that you love her." And I did that. And I wept. And so did he. It was a catharsis for me because I realized that the person that abused me the most was me, with an inner critic, with sabotaging my life, with allowing other people to use me and abuse me. And so I said no to myself, and I started on my journey. Now there are some things, and I'm going to go over these, to kind of interrupt or break this habit of negative self-talk. I named my inner critic. She's Edith Ann. And I would tell her to sit down and shut up. Because that's what worked for me. That's kind of harsh, but that's what worked. I had to accept that Edith Ann was going to talk to me like that. And then I had to become aware of what she was saying. So he had me journal and write down all of these things and to come up with my top ones. And I had 3 that ran all the time. I said, I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I can't do anything right. And then I would took that in. He had me. Is this true? Are you fat? Well, no. I weighed 115 pounds, but I thought I was fat. Are you ugly? Well, no. I mean, I'm okay looking. And can you not do anything right? You own a salon. You have a successful business. You own a home. He dispelled all of that stuff. So we rewrote new statements, and I had to program those over the old ones. And when the old tape played, no. And I would say the new one and the evidence that proved the new statement. And I began to be able to stop the inner critic. Can you completely eradicate the inner critic? No. Things will happen. And you'll think, ugh. But I've had some practice today to know when that happens. I can say no out loud. I can envision a stop sign or say stop out loud. I I can also sit down and journal about what's going on with me. And when I do that, then I begin to realize what's going on that's driving this. You see, you have to know yourself. Develop a relationship with yourself. Have compassion for yourself. I extend the long arm of mercy for everyone else, but I get the short arm of justice when it comes to me. Stop. Treat yourself with kindness. Nurture yourself. And it sounds real easy, but it's really not. When you have criticized and castigated and gaslit yourself for years, it's not an easy thing to change, but it can be done. And it's very rewarding. You get happier. Life looks different. I wanted to change how I felt by changing my environment. If I just had the right clothes or the house or the car, successful, and that's not how it works. I had to change my insides. And then those things on the outside, the things that I wanted, what I really wanted was respect, dignity, grace, wisdom. All of those things that I think about when I think about being a godly woman. And I got those by respecting myself, by setting boundaries with others and boundaries with myself. That's what saying no to myself is setting a boundary with myself. Saying, I am not going to do this any longer. So you make the decision, you become aware of what's going on, accept that you do this to yourself, and then gradually take the steps to stop, to say no to abusing yourself. If you like what I share here, please subscribe, hit like. I have a website. I've got a free self-esteem assessment on there that you can get. If you go to my website, I also have some ebooks that I sell. Check that out. And remember to be you on purpose.